A lot of our customers are people who sell products on Amazon, and this one didn't even change anything about the packaging. They just wanted to change the main image that shows up in Amazon and implemented a change, immediately saw a 12% increase in click-through rate, which led to an immediate pop in sales.
Welcome to the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. Join host Marco Torres, co-founder of MarketingBoost.com, along with expert guests as they deliver incredible, proven solutions to your marketing challenges in each power-packed episode. Captain Marco has guided thousands of entrepreneurs, growing their sales and marketing through the use of value-add incentives. His Facebook groups are home to more than 84,000 entrepreneurs who are raking in sales with his advice. Get ready to be blown away with game-changing lessons for your business.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Marketing Boost podcast show. Today, we bring you another great episode with a powerful guest, Mr. Justin Chen. He's the founder of PickFu, a polling platform anyone can use to get fast, reliable feedback from real people. Justin built PickFu with a co-founder and college classmate, John Lee, to use in their first business venture. People and businesses worldwide now rely on PickFu to help them make a better data-driven decisions faster and easier. He has a BS in electronical engineering, computer science from UC Berkeley, and an MS in engineering management from Santa Clara University, a firm believer in remote work. Justin braves Los Angeles traffic daily to shuttle his kids between school and activities. So I guess that means he does work from home as well, a little bit here.
Yeah.
You will promote. So we're going to hope that you guys first, before we get started, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast below. Say hello, Justin.
Hey, Marco, thanks for having me on.
You bet. No, my pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to join us. So Justin, let's start with your story. That's interesting that, you started this with a college roommate. How long ago was that?
Oh, wow. So John and I started working together back in 2006. So what is that? Losing track of time.
Well, it's
17.
Almost 20 years ago. Almost.
Yeah. So we went to college together. We were at Berkeley. Then we came out and went to corporate jobs. I went to HP. He went to Microsoft. We did that for a few years, but then we wanted to run our own business. We wanted to take the entrepreneurial route. And so we came up with some ideas, and actually they were all over the board. We took a 3-day weekend, and we were just like locked up in the living room trying to figure out, should we open a bar? Should we start a restaurant? Should we build a website? Like it was all over the place. And we came up with this restaurant menu website that we initially built. So we quit our corporate jobs, and we were building that for a couple of years. And along the way, we were redesigning the website, as you do. And we needed feedback. We wanted consumer feedback on whether this redesign was going to resonate. And so that's where PickFu came from. We, being engineers, we decided we need this digital focus group. Let's just build it ourselves. And so we did, and we kind of threw it up on the internet and left it there for a really long time. And people started using it over time, and it started growing and getting legs of its own. And, that's where it brings us today. It just kind of started growing organically.
That's huge and great. It reminds me of, similarly, Marketing Boost. We launched that I'll take a quick break and we'll talk about Marketing Boost if it's all right with you a little bit. Yeah. Our story is similarly, we, a couple of partners and I got together in 2008 and 2009 and got into the travel space. And Marketing Boost, which is the main business that I focus on today, of multiple that I own, but Marketing Boost came about by accident. We were trying to generate testimonials from our clients, and we were selling travel on other multiple, very successful travel sites. And we needed video reviews, but we couldn't get anybody to go that extra mile of filming a selfie video and bragging about the hotels that we were marketing or our brand. So we came up with an idea we thought would be temporary, just to say, hey, if you'll, give them a bonus vacation, 3 nights on us, if they would take the time and they go the extra mile of filming a selfie video of themselves at the pool, the bar, the beach, the resort, or whatever. And Sure enough, that worked. Before we knew it, we had hundreds of these video reviews coming in. We were leveraging those, using them all over the website, in our Facebook ads, YouTube ads, so on, and just generating thousands of new sales. And then we had to pull the plug. We're like, well, when these people start raising their hand to travel, it costs a lot of money to fulfill these trips. We can't keep doing this. So we had to come up with either we canceled the program and keep the videos we have, or we got to, how can we make these hotel stays cheaper? And for those of you listening, if you don't know Marketing Boost yet, that's what what turned into Marketing Boost today. We went to our hotel partners and said, hey, you've got a problem we can fix. We can help fill those empty rooms that aren't being sold. And before you know it, we have 130. So long story short, Marketing Boost provides the wild delight and surprise factor to Marketing Boost members that can give away complimentary hotel stays, use our restaurant savings voucher, our restaurant and hotel savings vouchers to generate business. But how could you do that? And what could you test that with? Does this version of my creative work better than this version of my creative? And that's where PickFu comes in. Now, I haven't used PickFu, so I'm just recently made aware of your product. Tell us more. How do members and how do business owners? Is it affordable for the small business owner? Is it? What kind of?
So we made it to be as accessible to anyone as possible. We're trying to make enterprise grade market research accessible for small business owners and individuals who are doing the work. So it's really simple. You could think of it as a miniature survey, a single question. You upload a few options. So for example, it might be, which book cover do you like? And you upload a couple versions you have. You pay $1 per response. So 15 responses is $15. And what happens is we're going to go out to our panel of people, and we're going to pay them a small stipend to not only vote on which one they like, but give a written explanation why. So you're actually going to understand why that book title or that book cover resonates with people. And
wait a minute. When I looked at your website, I was trying to figure out who do I ask? Okay, where do I send this?
We bring the people. Yep.
Bring the people.
You don't even have to worry about it. Yeah. So we have a panel of people that we tap into. We'll pay them. They could be general US respondents, first come, first serve, or you could say, I want to reach male coffee drinkers or women, dog owners or whatever it is. We have different targeting that's available. And then you're basically think of it as like that digital focus group where you're going in and you're asking them, okay, hey, dog owners, would you be interested in this kind of service? Or do you like my dog logo or whatever it is? So you're actually getting feedback from your target audience.
How about that? So you help define, or I would imagine your website might help you or your team help define who you ought to be sending the list, the responses from or for, or depending, or you may already know that based on who you think your avatar is.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're gonna go find that avatar, put these A/B testing in front of them, so to speak, and get feedback back. And then you said the cost was $1 per feedback.
Yeah, $1 per response. So if you want 15 people, it'll be $15. It goes a little bit if you depending on how finely you tune the targeting. But for most things, I would say that I would recommend most people start without any targeting, because a lot of times it's general common sense. Like if it's a logo that resonates with people, and a lot of times, like you said, maybe you don't know your audience yet, so it's a little bit safer to play it a little bit open. But yeah, so we have people using it, like authors obviously use it for book titles and covers, or like I think you mentioned before our show, we were talking about like real estate agents. Maybe you're working on like a listing or a flyer. We personally use it for all of our marketing materials. So when we go to a conference, our backdrop and the flyers that we hand out and our business cards and like everything, we run through PickFu just to get that stranger to give feedback on it. Because the problem is that you and your team and your friends and family, they're all so invested or biased. They're probably not even your target audience. So the feedback that you get is not really helpful, right? Like we used to ask our parents all the time, and they would just say like, best, like whatever you do is going to be fine, and like that's not super helpful.
I'm sharing the screen and I'm looking at your website here.
Yep.
So there are any places here in particular you'd recommend we look at? So looking at how it works, here, guys,
Yeah,
PickFu, PickFu.com, and
you can go to the
really,
examples gallery up there. Yeah,
okay.
we could take a look at a couple of examples. Um, yeah, so the use cases are kind of limitless, right? You could be using it on business names or your company logo, even a landing page or email layout that you're trying to do. Product design is really popular, so maybe you're trying to make something. Um, Even marketing copy, or ad copy that you're going to do. All those things are, I think a lot of us are making assumptions when we make the decisions, and we're like, oh, I think this is right, and maybe you send it to a couple of people on your team, and they kind of agree with you. But when you actually pay strangers to give feedback, you'll be surprised how brutally honest they're going to be, and they're going to give you written feedback to actually give you some ideas for how to improve it, right? They're going to be like, oh, well, I don't like the green, like try
So do
this.
you have like a consistent audience of people that like to participate in these, or they get there, you share the revenue with the participants that take the time to give feedback, or how are they motivated to give feedback?
Yeah, we pay them, and it's a pretty big audience. So we tap into the same enterprise market research panels that a Procter and Gamble might use when they're doing long form surveys. So we're trying to bring those panels that typically are only accessible by large brands and bring them down to everyone else, and we do it in a self-serve manner. Typically, when a large company like Procter and Gamble does this kind of thing, they work with their internal consumer insights team. They have a market research consultant also, and it becomes a 5-figure, research project. It takes months. Ours, it could be as low as $15, and ours are so fast that they're typically done under 30 minutes. So you can set it up, you can go have your coffee, you can come back, and people will have already responded and chosen which design they like better.
Wow, that's cool. I'm glad I found out about it. I'm gonna have to start implementing this, and especially if your investments can be, under $100 or so to
Exactly.
go, I don't know. I would imagine you can do multiple, tests and what have you, and come up with a, a tested strategy with a few $100s or less.
Yeah,
To what is
exactly.
the average investment for, okay, A, B, I'm going to get ready to do a Facebook ad for a particular campaign. I want to see which one my audience thinks they like best before I
Yeah.
spend money on it. Is that an example of what I could be doing? Something as simple as that, one Facebook ad versus another?
Yeah. So when we see people doing Facebook ad testing, we'll probably, a lot of people like to create a lot of creative. So maybe like 4 to 6 or, something like that. So we'll typically see people do screenshots of their like Facebook ads that they've mocked up. I would say maybe like $150 for a test like that. And then it's going to be way faster. It's not going to blow through unlimited budget, like if you just ran it live on Facebook. And a lot of times, you know, only 1 or 2 of those ads are really going to be good, right? And so this is going to cut through that time that it typically takes for the ad system to optimize, and just give you the 1 or 2 that you should try to run live. And it's also going to give you that written feedback. And so if something is coming off wrong, maybe it doesn't perform well on Facebook, but you don't really understand why. And the written explanations are going to help you dive into, oh, okay, like they're misinterpreting this phrase that I wrote, or this image is not clearly conveying like what we think it is. So that's the benefit of running it on PickFu before you set something live.
Is there any minimum commitment monthly or something like that to
No,
use the product?
no monthly subscription. You just pay as you go, trying to be as consumer friendly as possible.
Very cool. Very cool. So let's get back over here and look at your screen again. Looking at your website. Give us some more case studies of what people that have used your service that have, it made them a lot of money. I saw one on your very homepage. Somebody giving you a great testimonial.
Yeah. So a lot of our customers are people who sell products on Amazon. And so there's a large company called Thrasio that buys up these companies, and they bought a mom and pop shop was selling a pet deodorizer. So the stuff you spray in your carpet when your dog pees on it. And so this mom and pop shop had a very successful product on Amazon, and so Thrasio bought them. But the packaging wasn't great looking. It was kind of looked like it was homemade, and so they ran a bunch of redesign tests through PickFu. thinking that a whole new orange bottle design and kind of like a more updated modern feel was going to do well. And they validated that decision over a few tests. And then they subsequently invested $50,000 in doing this whole packaging retool and redoing all of their marketing creatives, and immediately saw an uptick of, once they were able to launch all that, an uptick of like over 200 sales per day immediately of that product. And then they've gone on to spin off multiple adjacent products based off that new design. And it's kind of their marquee product right now. Another one would be,
I saw they went from about 2 million a year to 20 million a year.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah,
And so
exactly.
It was like,
Yeah,
okay,
and they still
tenfold.
they still promote like that same design that they validated with PickFu. It's been a few years now. It's kind of like a cornerstone of their product portfolio now.
Wow.
Yeah. Another one is Yes Bar, which it might be a brand that some people know. It's kind of like a protein bar that people buy. And this one, they didn't even change anything about the packaging. They just wanted to change the main image that shows up in Amazon. So, when you're browsing on Amazon, everything's very visual, right? Like, and you want to be the one that pops the most. And so all they did was they ran a test, and they made 3 different new versions of the main image. One kind of like was the existing one, which had like the cookie and the box. And then the other one kind of laid out, like, I think it was like the 6 boxes to make it look like it was, a 6-pack. And so a few different versions of that. And they just took the winner, implemented a change, immediately saw a 12% increase in click-through rate, which led to an immediate pop in sales. That was a $165 poll that they ran. It immediately ROI'd, like, in the first week. So simple changes like that. If you're thinking about your service or your product competing in a marketplace or even just online, like, you're always competing against someone else, right? So how are you standing out against the competition? And I think that's why PickFu is particularly invaluable for anyone who's competing with other people in a marketplace, whether that's a local marketplace or a larger one like Amazon. You really just need to get that initial click, right? Like, whether that's your ad or whatever it is, you need to get that the person to really gravitate towards your creative. And so that's where PickFu comes in handy.
Cool. So what else do you have any other businesses outside of PickFu, or has that become your sole focus?
Yeah, it's become our sole focus. We still have the other business that we started before it, but it's kind of like running on the side. But yeah, we're focused on growing PickFu. We're growing the team. We're about 16 people now. Kind of expanding into different industries. So, a lot of authors, a lot of e-commerce businesses, a lot of gaming companies. So people building mobile games, and, a lot of indie game developers trying to compete with the big boys. So really just trying to empower people all around the world, actually. I mean, a lot of our customers are not even in the US. I would say half of them are outside the US. I think entrepreneurship's just really taken off, like, especially in the time of COVID. I think everyone is starting a business or they're starting a side gig. And
Exactly.
I think PickFu allows them to de-risk their investment so that, whatever it is that they're doing, like, they can do it with a little bit more confidence that, okay, it's going to resonate.
Cool. We'll be right back after we hear from our sponsor, Marketing Boost. And so give us a second. We'll be right back.
It's time to wow, surprise, and impress your clients with the most powerful customer draw card available anywhere. The Marketing Boost Solutions Show is brought to you by Marketing Boost, where you can get valuable travel and restaurant incentives to drive your leads from prospects to paying customers. Now you can offer complimentary hotel stays in over 130 destinations worldwide. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com and try it for free right now.
Welcome back once again to the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast. We're here talking with Justin Chen, an entrepreneur who has brought a service that all of us can use. Everybody listening out there, you're a big or small entrepreneur, home-based entrepreneur, or got 100 people under you. You are often looking for ways to find out, is this idea better than this idea? Is A better than B? What do we think will get the better response? Will this book cover, be better than this book cover? Will this Facebook ad work better than this one? So, one way to do it, and it sounds like one of the best ways I've heard, is instead of just spending money on Facebook ads first and see which ones work, first hire PickFu, PickFu.com, and they can instantly give you back feedback. And correct me if I'm saying anything wrong here, Justin, but I think what we've got here is an easy way to get feedback and pay $1 per response.
That's right.
And so whether it's a $15 investment or 100, 200, you're going to get the feedback before you go out and spend a lot of money on printing materials or printing trade show stuff, or
That's right.
maybe your trade show booth, or your whatever it might be. Get some feedback on it, and have outsiders help tell you which is going to be the best, or what more people that like, whatever, which one wins, which one's the most popular, before you go spend a lot of money. That is really powerful, Justin. And how'd you come up with that idea in the first place?
Yeah, you got it 100% right on that description of it. We were working on a redesign, and I think what was happening was there were two different versions, and John, my co-founder, and I couldn't decide. So we were kind of at like a loggerheads, and so we wanted the general audience to kind of break the tie, and so that's where the idea for it came from. And we kind of figured that, other entrepreneurs must have this exact same problem, right? So why don't we build a solution and put it out there? And I think what's been fascinating about it is just seeing all the different use cases. Like, we never really marketed it into all those different use cases, but people have kind of found it and used it in different ways, whether it's, book titles or t-shirt designs, right? Like, before you're going to do a huge run of shirts and you're going to go sell them, hey, maybe you want to get some feedback on them so that you're not sitting on a pile of shirts that no one
Pile
likes.
of inventory.
Yeah, that's the worst. Yeah, or color variations. Like, hey, you're gonna make a bunch of different colors of something. Do you really know if it should be 50% white or 50% black? Like, get some feedback on it, right? So just a really good way to de-risk those investments, because we've heard so many stories from small business owners who take out a credit card loan and they buy all this inventory of something, and then it just sits there, and it's painful knowing that they didn't do any kind of testing before that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So unlock consumer insights instantly by going to PickFu.com. That's pretty cool. What other insights would you give us as for starting entrepreneurs? What other wisdom would you like to share on ideas or resources? Or you have a number, I'm looking at your resources tab. What can we find up here? You've got webinars, educational library. What do you guys provide here?
Yeah, so we have a lot of educational content. We do webinars about how to use the platform, and those are all free. We're trying to make the platform very self-serve and easy to use for anyone who doesn't have research experience or expertise, and so that's kind of what we're doing here. The thing you're popping up here is this Amazon mockup generator. Basically, it's a way to kind of make fake Amazon screens search result screenshots. So like when what you see with the image and the stars and the price and all that kind of stuff. And what we've seen some of our savvier customers do is actually like make mockups where they change the star ratings or the prices, or they change the images out to see how they're doing against the competition. Like, okay, here's how I'm doing right now, but what if I change my image, or what if I change my price? Am I going to perform better? And so that's kind of what this tool helps you create, and then you can go run a poll with it.
Got it. You create what it'll look like, run the poll.
Yep.
Then as you say, okay, once that's done, now you can go back and actually publish it on Amazon.
That's right. Yeah. So,
all of these tips and tools are right here within the Amazon mockup generator, the education library, the webinars, help center. Sign up for free. No cost to sign up. And then there's a billing is just, if I understand that correctly, it's based on usage.
Yep. Just credit card.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, we're really trying to get people to do hypothetical testing. And so whether those are your creatives or, color variations or t-shirts or whatever it is, just test it before going live, before you go to print, even before you put it on Facebook ads, right? Because this is kind of a private venue. Even when you want Facebook ads, like, kind of like the whole world seeing it, right? So if you want to experiment with like a new logo or like a creative, hey, we were always like very pink motif, but we want to try black or something like that, right? Like you wouldn't want to live A/B test that. You would kind of want to test that in a private audience first.
Right. Tell me more about who the private audiences are. Or is there, like, if I know my product is mostly for women,
Yep.
can I say, I want to target a bunch of women and see what they think of this and that, or I want to target women in, Asia versus women in the US. Are there options like that? I'm just thinking here what my audience or people might be asking.
Yeah, for sure. So we have a lot of the basic demographics. So you could definitely do gender, age, even income range, and then a lot of behavioral attributes as well. So whether they drink tea or coffee or have dogs, maybe they use beauty products, or if they have kids. So a lot of these are very kind of common consumer attributes that people want to target. US is our biggest panel, but we also have United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and Germany as well. So if you happen to be in those countries or selling to those countries, you could definitely test. And then we have a couple more countries that are coming online later this year. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can splice and dice the audience. If you know for sure that, it is women, dog owners, or whatever it is, like you can go ahead and target that.
Are you a private or a public company?
Private. Yeah,
Private
self-funded,
company.
private.
There you go. Looks like I can almost envision this going public one day here, and you be in the next,
One could hope.
Mark Zuckerberg.
You're calling it out here first.
Yeah. All right. Well, one of the things that we offer as well, I'll take kind of a verbal pitch on one of the products we use, Marketing Boost. We also, many of you sign up for Marketing Boost. You get the incentives. You have the complimentary hotel stays, the restaurant savings vouchers, the hotel savings cards. And then what? Then you're asking, well, how do I use these? Don't forget, you need to book an onboarding brainstorming Zoom call where we're going to show you visuals, sales funnel pages, how to use these incentives. We're going to show you the disclaimers that you ought to do. Book a demo below in the links below, and we'll show you how to use those incentives and even how to automate everything. We do offer an upgraded product called Automation Booster, where you've got the whole kit and caboodle on sales funnel builder, email, inbound and outbound marketing with email, texting, voicemail, broadcasting, and automating all of those incentives. When your clients take an action, you can send them that complimentary hotel stay on autopilot. So look into that, book the demo below. Don't forget to subscribe and share. And we're back with Justin Chen. Justin, tell us more about you, if you'd like, or more case studies on how PickFu has, helped businesses succeed.
Yeah. So some other ones that were interesting were we had an author who was writing his book, and he was kind of a travel author. He had traveled to a lot of different countries. I think every country. I think the whole point was that he had traveled to like every country in the world. And he was working with a publisher on his book cover, and they were really going at it. Like they were not agreeing on the different covers. His editor had kind of like a more conservative, clean looking cover, and his cover had pictures, like all kinds of pictures, like a collage, right? Because he had visited so many places, he wanted to get pictures all over it, and he was certain that his cover was going to win. So he ran a PickFu poll with the idea that he was going to bring it back to his editor and like prove them wrong. And of course, it went the opposite way. Like his cover failed completely, and the editor's suggested cover won, and he went on to sell tons of copies, become a New York Times bestseller. So he's not complaining about it, but it was a hilarious story. Like we had the chance to meet him in person, and he was telling us this story. And so,
it makes a perfect point that, you biased with your opinion of a particular creative this is what I believe is going to rock. And you don't want to listen to the third-party outsiders or what have you. So you're determined to launch something your way. only to find and maybe never find out
Yeah.
that all it would have taken was a different cover, and your book might have sold out.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say the most common feedback we hear from our customers, like, wow, the one that won was not the one I thought was going to win. And
Right.
so, that's scary to think a lot of those decisions are getting out there where, it could have been completely wrong, and maybe it didn't fail, but maybe it could have done better. Right. So
Yeah.
that's the opportunity cost.
And it could be the difference between failing and not,
Yes, for sure.
because there's always a cost of acquisition involved, and so if you're spending the marketing dollars and your cost of acquisition is maybe either more than it's costing in or
Mhm.
generating in revenue. So if you're not profitable within a certain amount of time, you're going to give up, and you might not realize the thing that has to change is a particular creative. You might be saying, well, let's change the advertising strategy. Let's change
Yep.
the copy on the ad. Let's change the, well, stop marketing on Facebook. Let's try YouTube and whatever. And,
Yeah.
and you're doing all these things when maybe the creative might have made a huge difference, or the copy was the difference. Or again, those are all the different things that you can start
Yeah.
testing with your feedback from PickFu. Folks, we're talking about PickFu.com. I'm going to share my screen one more time. I'm really impressed with this, which is why I'm sharing all of this, folks. I think it's a powerful tool that all of us can be using for an affordable price here. PickFu.com. And get in here. There's no cost to sign up. It's pay per response, starting 20, 30, 40, $50. You can get feedback for depending upon what might cost you 150, 200, or I guess depending on your campaign, you might invest
Yep.
more. Don't quote me on prices here, guys. But Justin, am I correct? It's more or less what a small business owner might do with some of their testing.
Yeah, exactly. I would say that most of our small businesses, it's under $100 per test. Another good use, kind of similar to the book cover one, is that we have a lot of agencies that use it as well. So maybe you're like a local web design agency, or you do, you have clients, and you encounter that all the time, right? Where the work that you do, the client maybe is skeptical, or maybe they think their original version is better. We hear all the time that agencies will spin up a PickFu poll during a meeting with a client and say hey, I'm just gonna start this right now. I'm gonna start the thing that we worked on, the thing that you already had, and we're just gonna let a bunch of strangers vote on it. But usually by the end of the meeting, it's already done. And of course, the agency typically comes out on top because it was the nicer looking product. But it's a really nice way just to prove people, whether it's your clients or it's your editor, or maybe it's your boss, just to show that the thing that I'm doing is actually resonating with the right audience.
Wow, that's even another example. Okay, so you're the marketing guy at a company, and your boss or other colleagues are saying, no, we like this. And
Yeah,
you're like,
exactly.
I'm the marketing guy here. Watch me prove you wrong. And so you go ahead and do a quick thing, boom, boom, pick it out, take a gamble that yours is going to win.
Yep.
That may or may not work for you, but I guess,
Yeah,
or if you're really smart, you'll do the PickFu in advance.
yes.
And then you'll go, and then when the meeting comes up, you're like, by the way, let me show you the results of this particular test I did.
Yeah,
if it
don't
didn't go
mention
your way, if it didn't go your way, try again before the meeting. But power, again, I really like it, folks. A simple tool, affordable tool to test ideas before you go out and spend time and or money, because it's not just the money you're going to spend on Facebook ads and so on and so forth. You're going to invest time. You or your team is going to invest time promoting a particular campaign, setting up email, text messaging, marketing efforts to drive traffic to a particular offer or landing page, or worse, developing, a product packaging and what have you, with even more heavy duty investment. And, without doing the testing up front, you figure, well, I can't afford to do big market research testing. Now you have the solution. It's essentially putting market research in the hands of any small marketer, any small business owner like you, like me, out there. We can all build our businesses by testing everything on PickFu.com. You think I had stock in your business the way I'm promoting you here, but I like it. So I'm pitching it like I had something, like I had a piece of the action, which I don't. But anyway, go to PickFu.com, guys. I'm going to post this. There'll be links in the bottom here to sign up for PickFu. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast. Before we wrap it up, Justin, this has been fun talking to you, and I really appreciate the insight and business tips here on a simple solution to get feedback, real feedback, live or very quick feedback from people who might be, who would help you choose which direction to go in.
Yeah.
Justin, what else have you got to say to our audience here?
Yeah, I mean, whether you use a platform like PickFu or not, I mean, I think it's just important to constantly talking to your customers and to really understand why your particular service or offering resonates or why it doesn't. Even harder, and what you should also be doing is talking to the customers who don't convert, right? So if you can get some of those people on the phone, it's incredibly insightful to understand why your offer was not interesting to them. And so that's something that I recommend. That's something that we do. And, it's not always a fun conversation, but we'll be.
And you get on the phone on the horn and talk to people, or you're doing surveys?
No, yeah, we'll hop on the phone with both happy and dissatisfied customers, or people who didn't convert the way we thought they would, and just really try to understand why we missed the mark. And obviously you're not going to please everyone, but you want to gather these data points to understand, what might be missing.
That's a good point too. You're searching for the 4 and 5 star reviews and what have you, but you've got to get feedback from those that weren't happy as well.
Yeah.
Because most people, when they give you a 5-star review, I mean, it's fantastic, right? But most people don't bother to write a review at all unless you are actively asking for it, making those phone calls, trying to get feedback from your clients.
Yeah.
This has been fun, guys. Thank you very much for listening to the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast. Justin, you've been great. And your product is simple and easy to talk about, easy solution, A/B testing on without spending a whole lot of money, get real feedback from real people, and choose your demographics, all kinds of stuff on your site to do. And support a local private business as well. So we promote PickFu.com. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast. We really appreciate that. Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Boost Solutions podcast with your hosts, Captain Marco Torres. Now it's on you. Take the next step now. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on how you can wow, delight, and surprise your clients with the most amazing draw card on the planet. So stay thirsty, my friends. Stay thirsty for knowledge. See you next time.